Amanda here, thanks for joining me. If you are new, do hit the subscribe button, I'd be really grateful. So today's just a bit of a craft along really. I'm doing my design team project for the graphics fairy. You'll get a full flip through video of the journal in January on that one. But I'm just making bits and bobs to go in it, so I thought I'd switch the camera on. So I've started by creating a large tag. So this measures, I'll tell you what it measures. It measures, I think it's 7.5, yeah, by 4. So they're quite large. And I'm making a set of 6 because they're going inside 6 pocket pages. So yeah, so what I've done is I've cut this out of, this is craft cardstock. You get it quite cheaply I get it from the range. And I like the sturdiness of it for tags. I've lined it with just random book paper, okay, just to cover up that crafty look, because although I like it, I don't want it on the front. And then I've got some strips here that I've ripped up of a page from the graphics fairy. Let me see if I can build it back together. I've ripped it in bits. And it's from a set called the Typesetter. Yeah, so that goes there, that man goes there, like a jigsaw, and that goes there. So that's, I think that's right. No, that's not right. Does that go there? Yeah, I've cut that lady up, look. So it goes like that. So it so that was the A4 sheet, and it's blacks and reds. So that's kind of, I like red with black, so that's what I'm going for. So I've just ripped it randomly into strips. I've inked around the edge of each of them, and that's when I thought, oh, I'll switch camera on in case anybody's around on the board. So I've inked all the way around the edges, although I'm probably not going to use the full thing just because I don't know which bit's going to show and which isn't. So yeah, and then what I've got here is a pile of what I call paper dolls. Okay, now you can get them all over. In fact, those are spare ones. These are what I'm using on the tags. These are available on the Graphics Fairy Premium site. Okay, so you can print them out and cut them out all day long. You know, you don't have to keep buying them. You just save the file, or go and visit the site if you remember and just keep printing them out. So some I've printed on cardstock and some are just on paper, but it's heavier weight paper, but it's fine for sticking on a tag. Okay, you could print them on matte photo paper to get more of a photographic look. I'm not too bothered. It's just tags that I'm making at the moment. So I quite like that black bit there. I've not got my rough edge there, have I? I've got it here. Just deciding which piece to use. I'm going to use this piece today for now. And right, so what I'm just going to do, I'm just going to roughly glue with my glue stick kind of the area where I want this strip straight onto my tag. Right. Now when it's dry, I'll be sewing all the way around. And I've used my decal edge ruler to rip it, because although I want a raggedy edge, I kind of wanted it straight. Bit of a contradiction there, but I wanted organised chaos. So I used my ripping ruler rather than just rip it by hand. Okay. It's about as straight as a... There we go. Right. So then that just splits my tag up into 2 halves. And what that also does, and the reason why I've done that, rather than like for this one, I've just covered it completely with paper. If you do it this way, you're using up your old book pages and you're being a bit more frugal with your paper. And it's also a nice look. So it's a win-win, okay? Because if you're making journals, just use, you know, junk at the back there. It's fine. Right, so what I'm going to just do quickly, I'm going to pick which image I'm going to use first of all. Let's have a look who we have in. Let's have these sisters. I quite like these sisters. So what I'm going to do is just ink around the edge of the ladies. Well, they might not be sisters, but they're dressed very similar. Either they've got the same job or they're sisters. And the mum's bought them the same clothes like my mum used to. In fact, I did it with my older girls as well. And they used to go, well, when they see photos and they've got the same clothes, and they're like, oh my god, why did your dresses in the same clothes? Well, probably because I lacked in imagination, to, you know, and when you find something you like, you just buy two of them. Right, so sheet there. Let's have a look. What else can I use? I would like, if I can find them, what we're doing with all of my doilies. There we are. I'd like a doily there, I think. A small one. Here we are. I think I'd quite like a small doily behind those ladies. Just leave that one on my desk because I might use it later. Yeah, so on one I've used lace, but I wasn't that happy how it turned out, so yeah, we'll have that there, that's fine. Okay. And if you find your project's a bit sticky, because like here I'm using glue stick, but it's on a doily, so it's going to go through the holes. So when that goes on my project, if I end up and it's a little bit sticky, I'd normally just wipe over it with a baby wipe, but when it's something like a doily, it's very delicate, so you can't. So one trick that you can do, and I'll show you, there's a specific tool for it, but you can make it yourself. Where's mine? So this is mine, and this is a dust buddy, and it's what you use when if you want to emboss and you want to reduce the static. So if you just rub that over, whatever's in there, which is probably just like some kind of cornstarch in honesty, will stick to your sticky icky. And then it won't be sticky ick anymore. Now if you don't have one of those, you can just get some cornstarch and an old pair of tights. That's like what bakers use, isn't it, when they're icing? They'll put icing sugar in a pair of tights and tap it on the icing. Just bear with me, I've got a load of Christmas presents underneath my desk and the pile's falling off. Right, so that's those. Where's my ladies gone? So there's my ladies. Okay, so I'm happy with that. I'll do my sewing off camera before I put my grommet in, or I might pause. I don't know. We'll see how we go. See how long it takes me. So I'm just going to ink all the way around. I'm using vintage photo, so I don't want it too dark. Okay. I'm not too worried if that's a tiny bit loose, because by the time I've stuck the rest of the stuff on, it'll all be held nicely. So what I'm also going to do is a little bit of stenciling, and I'm using this stencil throughout my journal. And this is a Tim Holtz Stampers Anonymous one, and it's called, what's it called? It just says ABC on it. Don't know if it's got a name. No, it's just the alphabet. It's an alphabet layering stencil. I'm using my little brush, and I'm using black soot. I love this little brush that my friend sent me. Right, so where am I going to have this now? I think I'll have the numbers, because on one of my others I've already got ABC, and I'm just going to do some in the top corner here. So I'll just get it kind of straight. Is that the right way around? How is that number 5 the right way around? I don't know who's done that 5 on that stencil, but it's back to front. Yeah. I've only just noticed that. Not to worry. So let's put it there. Yep. And we're just going to very smoothly heavier in the corners, but then fading out to light. And I'm just doing that top corner there. Like that. Yep. Yep. I like that. I like that. We'll stop there. And then let me just add a bit more at the edge there to just blend that in. Right, then we're going to just put the ladies there. Just needs to be a little bit darker there, but I don't really want to use walnut stain. To me, it's just too dark. Just a little bit too dark. And then what I'm going to use, quite like this. Bit of a strip going on. Should have put it down the middle. Never mind. I just like using up scraps and stuff. I might use that on the next one actually. So I'm just going to bring over my little box of tricks, and this is little cutouts that I sit and fussy cut. I've collected from various places. Artimaze, mostly Artimaze to be honest. Some stuff that I found myself and whatever have you. So I'm just going to find some stuff to layer up. That's the postman. I hope the dogs don't start barking. I'm going to try and pick out stuff with bits of red on if I can. Okay, there's a number, quite like that number. I like those, quite like that. Sticker, that's a sticker. Those are graphics fairy. So that was quite nice. Bit of red there, another bit of red there. That's got red in. Yeah, we'll just see how we go with those. I think that's got red. Yeah. Right, we'll see how we go with those. I could quite like a nice large stamp maybe. No. I need to start sourcing some things with more colour. What's that? That's got a bit of blue. Got some big green stamps, there we go. And I'll just have a bit of green there just in case. Right, let me just move those out of the way so we don't knock them over. So I've got a selection of things here, and I'm just going to start, and I might fast forward this bit because sometimes it takes me a while to plan exactly what I'm going to do. Alright, I always ink the edges of everything. And then we will see what's what. Sometimes I can just do it in about 5 seconds flat, and other times it can take me 10 or 15 minutes till I get it how I like it. It does me head in, don't know. Don't want that one, I don't think. Quite like that. I quite like that. A bit of colour. These large stamps I think are Artimaze. And sometimes I just like a little bit of extra colour on the... Although my theme's going to be kind of red and black, sometimes I just like a little bit of extra colour to break it up. And that's where these coloured stamps come in really useful. 'Cause it's a bit of something and nothing really in real terms, but it makes a big difference. I'm going to use Fabri-Tac. It's not Fabri-Tac, what am I on about? Beacon for this bit. Just because this is heavier weight and I don't want it coming off. Basically, I don't want it to come off. So you can find, you know, obviously you can buy the Tim Holtz ones. I think that's what's made these quite famous, but you can find them, like I say, if you get access to the Graphics Fairy Premium site, you can find quite a few on Pinterest. They're all over. They're not difficult, and it doesn't have to cost you a fortune. I have some of all sorts. I have some Tim Holtz ones. I have some that I've found. That's too big. On Pinterest, as I say, these are Graphics Fairy. Now I know that's going to look nice because I've got it on my other one. And I'm doing kind of a, I think, yeah, have I already told you? I forget what I've said, me. I'm doing 6, a set of 6. So, yeah. And they'll probably be all very similar, like that. They'll all end up being quite similar because I want them to be. And because once I've done one thing and I know it looks good, I'll just replicate it, because there's no point thinking of a brand new design for every breath you take. It's hard work. So if you're doing a journal and you get a tag that looks good, do the same thing over and over repeatedly, because it, you know, like I say, what's the point in reinventing the wheel every single time? There ain't no point. I think that's a sticker. Yeah, just gives me a little bit of green in there, doesn't it? Just a tiny bit of green. Wonder if I can move that up. Or is it down now? Is that it? Have I blown it? We'll see, won't we? Now I can move it up. So I'm going to actually just move that up. Okay. There we go. So we've got quite a nice collection. A little kind of cluster there. Alright. So I don't need those. And then I quite like to put that number on for some reason. I don't know why. Don't know. Not sure. I'm just going to do it. It doesn't matter if it doesn't look perfect. Who cares? Crafting and art is not about perfection, is it? Right, so I'm happy with that. It'll do. It's fine. It doesn't matter if they're not all exactly perfect. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to go and sew around this and then I'll be back. Okay, so I've sewn all the way around. I've done a zigzaggy stitch there and just normal there. And then I've layered up with some bits and bobs like you saw me do. Okay, so I'm just going to, I just want to add this red ticket. Most of these bits and bobs here are from Artemis, from various kits. I just want this red ticket here. I'm just going to wrap it around the tag. No point wasting it, I'll just wrap it around there and it's on the back rather than just cut it off. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is do my hull. So I'm going to add a eyelet at the top. Alright, let me just put my lid on my glue. Right. Now I do measure these. If you've watched me before, you'll see that I do measure it, and it's because if not, I have frequently messed up tags by not getting it in the middle. So the top of this tag's roughly 3 inches. So I'm looking for the 1.5 inch mark, and I'm just going to make myself a little cross. Otherwise I always get them off centre and then they look rubbish and I'm not happy with it, and then it's a shame then because it's the whole, to me my whole tag's ruined. So it's about there. Kiddoke. Just grab myself an eyelet. If you don't have one of these, you can use a singular hole punch. I've got one somewhere. Yeah, I got this off of like eBay ages ago, quite inexpensively, a couple of pounds I think it was. it'll do the same thing, just might not go through. This will go through just about anything, even metal. They're really strong. And this will also set your eyelets. You can get eyelets pretty cheap, different ones. Some are better than others when it comes to eyelets. And it's one of them where you won't know until you use them, unless you buy the We Are Memory Keepers ones, which can be expensive. Then you know that they're going to fit right. Because what happens is, if you just have a look at this eyelet, I'll just tell you. This back bit here, on a good eyelet, when you're using the eyelet setter, it will squash it around the back. And if I show you this tag here, you can see how it's kind of, see how it's folded over, and that's what this tool does. And now if you get cheap quality eyelets that aren't We Are Memory Keepers or are just a bit pants, then it doesn't do that, and you have to bash it with a hammer. And there's nothing wrong with cheap eyelets, they're the same thing, it's just that some of them don't fold over nicely at the back. And it is very much trial and error, because I've had cheap eyelets before. In fact, these ones are cheap ones, and these ones are fine. But then I bought some other ones from Amazon, and they just don't squash down. These do. These aren't We Are Memory Keepers. I think I paid about £1.50 for these, for about 1,000 of them from a wholesaler somewhere years ago, and I'm still using them, and they're fine. It's a bit of a kind of a look of the drawer type of thing. So there we go. That's that done. That's that on. So I just want to do some splattering. Now you can use just normal gesso. I've used gesso on this one here, and it also adds a bit of texture. It's kind of bumpy. But on this one I'm going to use this Frost White. It's like, it's a little tiny paint, but it's, I don't know why it comes in such a small bottle, to be honest. It's a tuxedo one. I've had it a long time. A little bit goes a long, long way. So I'm just going to pour a little tiny bit. I've got any left. Yeah, there is some left. In there. And then I'm using a fan brush. I'm just going to just use what's in the lid. Okay, and then just move away what I don't want splattering, and then just get something to bash. I'm just gonna, hold on a minute, I don't want it on the ladies, so I'm just gonna cover them up. I don't want it on the faces. And it's one of these that probably won't show up on camera, but whoever inevitably ends up with, or whenever this journal ends up, they'll see it. They'll be able to see it. Okay, it's one of those. But that is nicer than just normal gesso, because it's just got a bit of a shimmer to it, like a frosted shimmer. What am I going to do with that now? I'll wash it in a minute. It washes out quite easily, does that one. Just going to wipe my desk. Don't know why I'm sat crafting. I've all my presents to wrap. I've all these presents at my feet to wrap, and I'm sat here making tags. Procrastinating. I don't know when this video will go live. It may well go live straight away. I may well save it for a couple of days. Right, so ideally I could do with that being dry, but I'm going to have to carry on. So I've recently been gifted a load of washi tapes. Let me just show you. Tim Holtz ones. Somebody sent them me in a rack. Very, very kindly. And some of these ones, what I've done is I have added it to some cardstock, and then you can basically cut out these individual sayings. So that's what I've done. You can see where I've got some missing. And then, you know, so when I've used all those, then I'll use another piece. It's just washi tape, but add it to a card. It just makes it a bit more sturdy then to add to your projects. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to edge this. So I've cut out this one. It says collect beautiful moments, and I'm just going to use some leftovers of the whatever's on this brush with the black in to go around the edge of there. It's not very successful, that. So what I'm going to do, I don't know if it's because it's washi tape, I don't know. If it doesn't maybe take the ink very well, I don't know. So what I'm going to do now, I'm using my 3-in-1. Come on, you slippery little sucker. And we're going to stick that, I'm going to put it there. About there. Yeah. About there, that's fine. Let's just move it down a bit so it's not on her hand. On her hand. No, it don't matter, it's there now. Okay, and then what I'm just going to do as a little extra, I've got these little black pens. Let me just find one that's too thin. Hold on. That's that one. Oh, that's too thick. I don't know how thick that one is. Let me just see how thick it writes. It's too thick. Just trying to find the right size. I think 0.8 will be alright. No, that's too thick. We'll have that one. And then what I do is, I mean, you can do it by hand so that it looks really messy and really cool, but I am so literally, my hand-eye coordination's so bad that I use a ruler, basically. And what I just like to do is just add black lines, and you know, I'll do one bigger than the other, as it were. I don't know why, I just like doing it. Okay, turn it around. I think this pen's running out. Yeah, I think it's running out. That's it. I think it just had something on the nib. Yep, like that. And then I'll go like that. I just like it for some reason. If you can do it like by eye, it looks even better. Let me just show you what I mean. There we go. Right, so we're going to add something to the top here. I've got a little charm. I've not made these. These are Tim Holtz ones. Little cabochon things. So I've not had to make it, but you can make them. I just need to find something to tie it on with. Let's have a look. What have I got in here? Like a little bit of something. Do I want that, or is that a bit thick? I don't know. Bit of seam banding. I don't know what I'm going to use yet. I've not made my mind up. Got some sari silk here. I could use that. Got a bit of string, I think, and a bit of... Let's use what's in this pot here. I quite like that though. I'm going to use this up. Is this sari silk? Yeah, that's sari silk. So I've got some that's just cotton from a sheet and some that's sari silk. But that's too thick, that, so let's just make it a bit smaller. There we go. Stick that through there, like so. Yeah, you can tell it's sari silk because it's nice and slippery. And I'm just going to tie it, rather than have it like tall at the top, I'm just going to tie it in a knot. Hold on a minute, because I just need something to put my cabochon on with, so I'm going to put this through. Just going to put some of that string through before I tie my knot. Okay, and then tie my knot. Then I'm just going to tie it again. So it's just a raggedy, just bit of fabric. rather than a big plume at the top. I'm not bothered for that today. And then here, I need to tie this on somehow. Tie this on somehow, don't quite know what I'm going to do. I think I want it dangling a bit. I'm just going to tie it on. I'm all fingers and thumbs because my fine motor skills seem to have disappeared. The older I get, the worse it's getting. That is getting quite bad. I wonder if I can get a bow out of that. No, can I get a bow out of it? So, let me just, don't want it so tight. There we go. There we go. I'm faffing now. I am absolutely faffing. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut that like so. And then that's just a little scraggy, little tied up bits and bob thing. Okay, right, so there we go. So that's one done. There's the other one that I did the other day. I've not put seam binding on that yet. And I may well, the thumbnail that you'll see for the video will show a set of 6. Alright, so I'm going to continue the process with the rest of my tags that I've got ready here. Alright, I hope that my waffling has inspired you, kept you busy, given you something to watch, and take care, and I'll see you again soon. Bye for now.